All right, so if you haven't heard, breaking news, baby. The Yankees have made a huge trade, and not for another Pirates reliever. They've acquired Joey Gallo from the Texas Rangers. And this is a huge trade. It's an 8-player trade. 6 going from the Yankees, 2 coming back from the Rangers. The other player coming back from Texas is John King, who's a 26-year-old left-handed reliever. So now they've brought in a right-handed reliever and a left-handed reliever to give their bullpen a boost, and while shipping out a lefty and a righty in Cessa and Justin Wilson. So they swapped 2 for 2. Okay, John King's 26, and he's got several years of control, which is great. He's got a controllable reliever there, just like Cessa was, and it looks to be pretty solid. So, and obviously Joey Gallo is the big get here. An elite, defensive, athletic, left-handed hitter, plays right field, which means Judge will most likely move to left, and he'll probably, if it were me, I would keep Greg Allen in center and have Estevan Florial back everybody up. And at this point, decide what to do with Brett Gardner. But I would not keep Gardner here above Florial. I'm sorry, but I would not do that. That makes the outfield a hell of a lot more athletic. Also makes the lineup much more versatile. And I don't know what they're going to bat on third or whatnot. He leads the major league in walks. His on-base percentage is very high. And Odor spoke glowingly about him as a former teammate in Texas. And and he's a tough dude too. So man, could you imagine like hitting him or Odor or Judge or Stanton or like Gittins or Voit? Like, if I was a pitcher, I would not want to be hitting any of these guys. So the Yankees added some athleticism and some toughness to that lineup. So fantastic. And again, he draws walks, which is something the Yankees have not done much of. So, and they need to do more of. This guy's an on-base percentage machine. Yes, he strikes out a lot. I get it. But he also gets on base a lot. So, and he's got, I think, 24 home runs, which is more than the entire Yankees left-handed lineup combined. Every lefty in the Yankees lineup, add all the home runs up, it's less than Gallo has by himself. Okay? So, big get. Big get. Players going back, Trevor Hauver, Glenn Otto, OTTO, Ezekiel Duran, Everson Pereira, and Randy Vasquez, and it looks like Clarke Schmidt. So, big package. Clarke Schmidt's a top 3 prospect, so I knew they were going to get at least one of them, but Peraza's not on there. The Martian wasn't going to be on there, but Volpe's not moving. Davy Garcia's still here. So they do still have assets for another trade. And I can see him making a move for another starting pitcher. There's still about $2 or $3 million under the threshold. I was surprised. I didn't realize Gallo only had less than $3 million left this year. And he's on a very reasonable deal for next year, too. So this is I got to give it to Cashman. People have been pounding him and calling for him to be fired, but he just brought in an elite bat and 2 relievers and still staying under the threshold. And will probably bring in another starter and still stay under the $210 million threshold. That's a job well done. I don't care what anybody says. Job well done. And, I see this bringing a jolt of energy to the Yankees as well. Him in there with Odor and some of these young guys. Yeah. Again, it's not Adam Frazier. It's not Brian Reynolds. It's not Ketel Marte. But who knows? They might get one of those guys in the offseason. Cashman works better magic in the offseason than he does at the deadline. But this is a good deadline so far for the Yankees. And, with Starling Marte going over to the A's, Houston loading up with relief pitching, the Rays adding Nelson Cruz, and they've already added a couple of relievers. Toronto hasn't done anything yet. Boston hasn't done anything yet, but they have Chris Sale coming back, so that's a big get too. This is a good deadline for the Yankees so far, so I'm happy with what I've seen. But again, I still think they need to bring in another starting pitcher. And somebody who can just throw innings reliably and not be an injury case. Now, speaking of that, Judge was scratched from the lineup tonight, before the game. They did not say it was for an injury, so I don't know the speculation. There was some spec that he was part of the Gallo trade, but I cannot see that happening. If he ever gets traded, it's going to be for an absolute haul. And I've done videos on this. I've talked about it. The consideration of trading him. And that's the only reason why. Because he can bring a haul back. And he's got a year and a half of team control, just like Gallo. Okay? He can extract more prospects than Gallo would. Okay? And that's, to me, I would have extended him 2 years ago or 3 years ago and gotten more prime years out of him. But after next season, he's going to be 31. Do you really want to give a guy $150 to $200 million at 31 and then potentially have the same feeling a couple years after that? Oh my God, another Stanton contract, another Ellsbury, like the guy getting hurt somewhat regularly. And I get he's the face of the franchise. He sells merch like crazy. He got the judges. I get that he makes a lot of money for the franchise. But you know what else does? Winning championships. And you trade him and you get some guys here, add to these guys, they'll be in a better position to win a championship. So, just a thought, but There's also speculation about him being back on the COVID IL. I don't know yet, so it's just speculation. But they scratched him from the lineup tonight, and so hopefully it's not something serious. That's all I got to say about that. But all in all, solid. This is a good trade for the Yankees. Yeah, they gave up depth, but again, a lot of those guys were going to be exposed to the Rule 5 draft anyway, so they wouldn't be here. They would be grabbed by other teams, so it made sense for him to deal from depth so that he could protect the 40-man roster, or the guys that he wants to on the 40-man roster. So this trade in numbers makes sense. And again, aside from Clarke Schmidt, no Peraza and no Volpe, like none of those guys. No Florio. None of them in this trade. So that's job well done. So I'll take it. And I know Texas wanted a haul. They wanted 2 top 5s. And I was afraid they were going to get it, but they didn't get it. So I'll take it. Exciting news. If anything else happens, I will keep you posted. I will add any updates to this trade in the description down below, obviously. And I'll keep you guys updated on all the other big moves coming. And I see the Yankees making one more move. So, but we'll see. Stay tuned.